Could you use a quick tip daily? How about a tip that can impact your day? My name is Raphael. Join me as I bring you tips by experts around the world. These experts have shared their knowledge and wisdom with me and will directly share them with you. Make sure to subscribe, like, follow, and comment, and I would love for you to become part of the New Tip Daily community. Good morning. Happy Monday. It is New Tip Daily episode 181. I know, crazy, but today I want to talk to you about negotiations and why that's so important for us. If you recall, most of us have been negotiating our whole life. We really have. We did it as children. If you recall, you wanted something from your parents, you nagged them. Right? Or you found different ways. And if you didn't get it from one parent, you asked the other parent. And hopefully you got what you wanted. But we are now talking about business and how we can negotiate every day. Can you imagine if you hired somebody and you had to every single day negotiate with them so they would do their job accordingly, the right way, the way you want it done? So for me, I believe negotiations always start with communication. That is, to me, the most implicit and the most important part of negotiations. If I have someone who is working with me, my negotiations start the day I hire them. Because I'm hiring them for a reason, for a purpose. But if it's not a clear purpose, then later on, I have to go and say, hey, you forgot to do this. Hey, you forgot to do this. Can you please do that? Can you do? So if I have a booklet, an employee booklet, those negotiations are crystal clear. They are there. And then it's also, do they want to be there? Is it just the money or is it the environment? Or is it the way they're being treated? I think it's all three. And that's how I get good employees. That's how I get people to want to come to work. So negotiation is also with your employees. So let's consider a client, right? When we take on a client, we have to introduce them to what we are going to offer them. Is it a product? Is it a service? Either one of those two things, we are negotiating so the client will buy from us, whether it's a product or a service. If I want to sell you this case, if I want to sell you anything, even credit card companies negotiate with us. Do you want to buy this card? Do you want to buy this one? And I don't even want to get into credit card fees and all this crazy stuff because that's going to be an episode for a different day. But today we're talking about business negotiations and how important it is to start off by communicating first. To me, I think that is the key, to have clear, concise communication. And if it comes to, I understand that some nurses are looking to go on strike because they are not staffed well. They are overworked. There's so many different things that can go into when we do a business negotiation with someone who works for us or a company that we're dealing with. So when we are bargaining, that's negotiation too, by the way. When you go into a store and you're bargaining to reduce the price of the product you want to buy. And don't get me wrong, you walk into certain stores and you walk to Starbucks, there is no negotiation as to how much you're going to pay for the product. If you get a certain coffee and you did these things, that's the price. You can't go to the barista and say, hey, today I want to pay not five and change. I want to buy the same product for $3. It's not going to happen there. But what you can bargain for is, hey, can I have extra milk in that? Can I have this in it? So as long as it's not out of their comfort zone, because they are not in a position to negotiate finances with you. So negotiation also is important to understand who it is that you're speaking with. If we sit down to negotiate on either a product, service, or even employment, or a continued employment or a contract, there's so much that clear communication can solve. The other thing that I consider when we do communication is we are communicating on understanding what it is whom we're speaking with. What is it that they want? What are their needs? What are their requirements? Are we meeting their needs? If we're not meeting their needs, then that's why there's negotiations going on a employment contract. The negotiation has to be a win-win for both sides. This is why people go on strike, because their needs not being met. But are they coming to the table and negotiating accordingly to understand the other party's situation? Maybe it's finances, maybe it's a 401k, maybe it's holidays, maybe it's we don't have enough of a workforce and I'm being overworked. Whatever it is, negotiations must start with communication. And when we think about communication is how are we entering into negotiations? What is the language that's being used? What are the words? How are we treating one another? Are we coming in hostile? Are we coming in angry? Are we coming in trying to make it a win-win for both parties? Negotiations happen daily. For me, they happen daily. Whether I'm getting a new client or I'm servicing a new client or I'm servicing an old client. So I negotiate with the fact that if I don't do my due diligence, right there, there's that mental negotiation that they are doing. Do I want to continue to have Raphael as the person I'm doing business with? Do I want to continue with his companies, whatever company they're coming at me with? Do I want to continue? Do I even want to bring repeat business? So that's a negotiation that if you do your job correctly, if you give them what they want, especially for a client. Now let's not talk about, listen, if we're talking about clear and concise communication, is an employee wanting to come back to work or they're done and because the working environment is no good, the money is no good? Are they already looking for a different job? Or are they excited about being in employment with you? So negotiations go a long way. People are negotiating every day. When they wake up in the morning, they negotiate with their alarm clock. They negotiate, do I hit the snooze button or do I get up? I got to be honest with you. I don't know why I put on an alarm every day. I do it. Just, you never know, right? Maybe I can have a sleepless night and all of a sudden I fall asleep and then I'm supposed to get up and I don't. But that really doesn't happen. Even if I've had a sleepless night, I still somehow get up before my alarm. Always do. I did this morning. It is the way my body functions. But some people negotiate with the alarm clock. Oh my God, I got to get up at this time. They hit the buzzer one time, two times, three times. And then they negotiate, okay, I better get up because if I don't get up, these things are not going to happen. I'm not going to get paid if I don't go to work. Am I going to call in sick? Am I really sick, or am I faking it? So there's all these negotiations that we go through even before we get out of bed. And then even before we go and do our daily activities, whether it's school, work, maybe it's on a Sunday. Do I have to go? I'm going to go to church, or it's a Saturday. Am I going to the synagogue? What am I doing? Am I negotiating with my action plan? Do I have an action plan? Do I have affirmations? Do I negotiate with my calendar? Do I look at my calendar after I wake up and I go, oh, these are the things I need to take care of today? What? So these are the things I need to handle today. And then it's negotiating which ones are the most important ones. Which ones can I put off for tomorrow? So making lists, prioritizing them. Some people do an ABC thing. Some people do it by numbers. Some people color code. Whatever it is, you're still negotiating. And when you're planning, you're negotiating which one are you doing first. So we do negotiations daily. You even negotiate with your food intake. What am I going to have for breakfast? Do I choose this or that? What am I eating for lunch? Unless it's just brought and put in front of you. But most of the times, that's not the case. And if it's put in front of you, you can negotiate with, hey, I don't want to eat that. I'm not going to eat it, even though it's in front of me. Well, I'll eat it later. I'm not hungry now. Do we negotiate with whether we work out or not? So a lot of times, you may not realize it, but you are negotiating with yourself. Do I call this client, or, oh, this client is so difficult to deal with? So you're negotiating your actions. Negotiating. When you take an action, that's a negotiation, whether you did it or you didn't do it. If you didn't do it, that's also, you negotiated not to do it. Negotiations. They're part of our daily lives, whether you like it or not. Your children are going to negotiate with you. They're even going to negotiate with themselves. When you picked out the clothes you chose this morning, when did you pick them out? And then did you negotiate? You see it in movies all the time. Somebody's going on a date. They try on 10 different outfits. They try on this. They even have somebody's opinion if somebody's available. Sometimes they'll even call a friend or whatnot and say, hey, what restaurant should I take the date? Or what restaurant should we go on? Or what outfit should I wear? So that's negotiation. And sometimes we encourage, or we even ask for encouragement in negotiations. How are you negotiating your day today? Thank you so much for joining me today on New Tip Daily. I hope that you win your negotiations. The best way for you to win your negotiations is to have clear and concise communication. Remember, that's my tip for today. Be clear, be concise, and even when you're negotiating with yourself, be concise with what you're doing and what you want to get accomplished. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you being here. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, and share New Tip Daily. That's right, New Tip Daily with your friends, colleagues, and loved ones. Do me a favor, follow me on social media, any of my social media, and let's connect on there. Let me know if you have a tip that I can easily share with some of my friends here. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Make sure to have yourself an exceptional day. Take care. See you tomorrow.